Hello, and welcome back to Beast Fables, a weekly show where we follow the lives of tiny animals in a massive forest. I'm Brian, and I will be your narrator for today's adventure. I use he/him pronouns, and I'm the founder of Dungeons on a Dime, a publishing imprint creating entry-level tabletop role-playing game content. I am joined today by not Atlanta, and Fraser. Atlanta is on holiday, enjoying the wonderful expanses of the Scottish environs. And so we have a duo session with Ver and Fraser today. The Outlands. Outlander. I'm getting confused. Ver, do you want to kick us off with a little hello?
Most certainly. Hello everybody, my name is Ver. I use they, them pronouns. I am a comic artist and illustrator. And in today's game, I will be playing Balthazar of Blueberry Pond, a courageous toad knight who was without his friend Pipistrelle. So we will see how he does, but he still has his friend Lutzen, so hopefully he will be fine.
The moral here is, friends are replaceable.
Exactly.
And the most indubitable, dubiously... I don't know. I was going to be all fancy in it.
Better than tall and vertical.
Dubiously dubstep.
Dubiously dubstep.
Oh my god, dubious dubstep. Hello.
Fraser, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, I'm Fraser. I use he/him pronouns. I am playing the stressed, distressed, and hopefully blessed rat, Lutzen. He's a craft paw rat. He's a little inventor boy, and he's been a violent. He's been we'll see what happens. We're stuck in a boat, and who knows where it's gonna go.
He's gonna kill Balthazar. His bloodlust.
The bloodshot, bloodshot twinkle in his eye. It's like, you're next.
No. And for the viewers at home, I have just turned on the captions. I'm very sorry about that. Google Meet has this thing where it used to have the captions automatically on for every single call. And then it made it just randomly not be there anymore when you join the call. And so I'm used to it being there and it's not. So now the captions are on so you can see sort of what we're saying.
Roughly.
We are playing...
It can struggle with my mumbling.
Struggle. I mean, yeah, it can struggle with my mumbling too.
Look, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about.
Struggle in the jungle.
Jungle struggle. Jungle juice. No! Anyway, we are entering the world of the Bristley Woods with this quite delightful tune. I'm going to change the music a little bit. To set the scene, I'm going to say... Okay, so Ver, you could recap what happened last session and give a very accurate account. But I think it could be interesting if Fraser recapped, because Fraser, you... In the chaos of it, I feel like Lutzen would barely remember what happened from minute to minute. So I feel it would actually suit your skills. It would be fun.
This is fair.
If you wanted to. But Ver could also do it.
I will give it a try. So... So, where we left off, we had been approaching... no, it's not... Is it Ladybank? No, what's it called? Lala's Dog. I'm trying to, read from a distance. Let me zoom in a little bit and get the names. So we'd been approaching Lala's Dock, where the metal beetle that Watson had crafted and had been stolen by Chipper the squirrel, evil vermin squirrel. We followed the tracks there and found that it had been taken over by pirate beasts. They all have these red bandanas. We don't really know what's going on. Sources from the Bramble Fork settlement said that they came from the Stonefangs, which we don't really know much about. I mean, at least I don't. Lutzen doesn't. We snuck in, we investigated a little bit, and then we ended up having a little scuffle with a vole? A mole? A vole.
A vole.
A vole.
I think a vole. Vole.
I think it was a vole. Lutzen tackled him to the ground, found him, and took him in, and we were questioning this vole, trying to figure out what was going on. During all of this, we were questioning, we were threatening. Balthazar had kind of very menacingly dragged this poor vole in a wee chair, into the water, very threateningly. And we're trying to get some answers, and he just was kind of refusing to speak. He eventually kind of broke under the pressure of us being all mean and putting on a show. What else happened? we figured out that we were probably going to have to chase the beetle, which we found had been taken on a ship and had already set sail out towards Lady's Bank on the opposite side of Loch Katrine. So we were trying to fix a little boat that was in this shed that we were interrogating this vole at, which we're doing on a bit of a time pressure as other beasts started wandering out trying to search for this friend that had been missing. Pipistrelle was on the roof and trying to cause distractions and keep a scout and an eye out. But Balthazar was having a lovely little discussion with the vole and trying to learn his name and his entire life story and trying to become friends. And Lutzen was manically trying to fix this boat as an escape route for them. Things went a little bit teats up, and the beast started trying to come and get us and try and find us, and we're investigating and looking around, and we almost got rumbled. A huge badger came in and almost got us and snatched us, in which we kind of piled onto the boat, ran away. Pipistrelle was flying about, distracting another bat, which was on the verge of discovering us, and the party had been split. Pipistrelle flying off into the distance, leading this bat away, so not as to lead them all to us, as we made our escape onto Loch Katrine, and that's where we are.
And because we like a little bit of turmoil, I want to remind you that Lutzen stabbed that badger in the nose with a dagger.
He stabbed the badger.
And as you two were fleeing the scene, Balthazar, a little bit of fever still coursing through your system, you saw in the middle of the flames of the now burning boathouse at Lallis Dock, the shadow, the silhouette of a familiar figure. And Lutzen, you were contemplating that wherever you go, you seem to start fires.
Oh yeah, because the boathouse kind of was starting to lit with fires and flames.
The badger dropped its lantern in its attempt to try and apprehend and claw you, and that started a fire. So it wasn't necessarily Lutzen specifically, but I think that's a thought that Lutzen would have in. Yeah.
Yikes.
But I'm going to say you guys are rowing as fast as you can to make it out into Loch Katrine, where you then will blend into the darkness of the loch, the darkness of the banks, the skies, and you are doing so with no light source. You're just rowing as hard as you can, as you guys had planned.
Well, actually,
I will remind you that frogs have superior night vision.
Yes, I am aware of this. Don't worry. And it's not frogs, it's toads.
I mean, toads, sorry. How? Oh my god, I did it. I did it.
Imposter syndrome.
Don't worry, you guys are all cousins. It's fine.
We are all cousins.
So Lutzen actually does have a little terrarium of bioluminescent moss and mushrooms that he keeps as a kind of a very faint light source.
Here's the question, do we want to keep a light source?
But this is this is true.
So this is part reminder. My thought was you didn't want to keep a light source so that you could sneak away and not be found and followed, and then you were going to put a light source up for Pipistrelle to find later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. This is true.
So
that was the plan that you guys had. So that's me reminding you. So it's intentional that you guys are in darkness because you have Icky Lucky as well.
So Lutzen can't really see then in the dark, but he's probably paddling, being the bigger boy.
I'm strong. I'm helping paddle.
But would you have like the arm span to row?
I
feel like each of you have one oar.
Okay, that makes sense. One on each side.
Lutzen's just kind of using his shoulders and elbows, and Balthazar is using his entire body.
He's running back and forth and jumping over it.
Well, this is presumably a boat that can be manned by smaller creatures, beasted by smaller creatures as well. So.
I feel like a badger would fit very snugly and be able to row itself with big, broad strokes across the river. And smaller beasts there would sort of have one oar each and be working very hard and maybe switch out.
Yeah, that makes sense. That tracks.
It seems to be... There's like a little nubbin in the center where it seems there might have been plans for someone at some point to install a mast, but never quite got round to it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'm going to set the scene. You guys, just to clarify, you guys are rowing out into the loch with no light source so that you can sneak away, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think, Listen, just kind of relying on Balthazar's impeccable sight.
I don't understand. Do not all creatures see well by the darkness? This is very strange indeed. Don't you worry. I see all. I
See all dimensions.
This is the first time either of you are rowing a boat. You know it in practice, but toads often swim or walk where they need to go. And Lutzen, this is your first time on open water. Having spent most of your life on land. I'll clarify. This isn't your first time on open water. This is your first time crewing a boat on open water. Because you have travelled over lochs before.
Yeah.
And it is hard, tiring work. There are times when the oar will skip on the water as opposed to digging in. And the boat will suddenly jerk as like left or right as one oar pulls and the other skids, and you find that the controlling the direction of where you want to go is difficult. Though Balthazar, you can see brilliantly in the dark, it can become a little disorientating as you move further and further away from Lalus Dock, as the boat shifts and sometimes spins to keep a track of which little lights are Lalus Dock or Bramble Fork or Blueberry Pond or Fallow Fields or any of the other places that you know are locations on the hills and banks near Loch Katrine.
Yeah. So can Balthazar... what's the night sky like?
Brilliant, dark. It is the kind of darkness where it's like 4 a.m. There is no sun. There is only a slither of moon. There are a few clouds, but aside from the clouds, the blackness of the sky extends and blends with the land.
Wait,
so
there's
all you
no
have...
stars?
There are stars. The only kind of like depiction of like where the horizon the land is where like the land blocks out the stars. But the land itself has no definition. It's just black silhouette. But it is otherwise brilliant starry Milky Way above you.
Can we see the star Polaris, the northern star?
I want you to make a cunning check for me. This isn't for ability 2, this is for how long it takes you to find it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, I feel like Lutzen would also be avoiding looking at the water as much and would be looking much more up into the sky.
Okay.
So
I'd say you have advantage just because Lutzen's also looking up.
Oh god, I feel like... Thank you, but I feel like Lutzen would have a better chance at this. That's a double 3.
I'm going to say there's a moment out on the open water where the both of you are exhausted and you just have to take a break for a minute. Just to catch your breath, to stop. Yeah. And you look up and it is for the first time in a while where you have stared at the open sky and had nothing else to do or to think about. And you are alone with a lot of the thoughts that you've had over the last few weeks. You're looking up, you see the stars above you, and you're looking, Balthazar, at the different constellations, trying to remember which one will lead you to the northern sky. What are some of the constellations that toads think of in the sky?
There is,
Well, there has to be a jar of slug jam.
No, I want them to be cool. There will be the great this ancient figure of the blackish trudge. It was like this hulking. It's kind of like a morally gray figure of this hulking kind of toad knight who would fight any challenger who approached him. There is
Trudge was the third toad knight ever. This is before like current living toad memory. Toads have been knights for a long time, but Trudge is the third knight.
Yeah.
The first knight did it for honor, the second knight did it for jealousy, and the third knight did it for the pure form of knighthood. And that is why Trudge is a morally grey figure.
Yeah, so Trudge isn't, because his name is or actually rather than, let me double check in one word quickly. So his, the title of this knight is the Brackish Trudge, as in,
brackish.
like, as in this, like, slowly moving, kind of hulking figure. Trudge isn't his name, it's the title, like, as if you had, like, the Azure Knight. They are the Brackish Trudge.
That's cool.
I feel like if you said Trudge, though, people would know who you're talking about.
Yeah. But I think it's more commonly said the Trudge rather than, like, Trudge.
Yeah, the Trudge. Yeah. Oh, good old Trudge. No, it's the Trudge. But you find the Blackish Trudge, and
brackish,
sorry. You find the Brackish Trudge. You follow his belt to his three-pointed trudgeon. You follow the western, or like the leftmost point of the trudgeon, and you arc it through the sky and find the Northern Star. And it is... yes, so you find north.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think Balthazar, he will have been, as you mentioned, our characters kind of contemplate a little bit, and then perhaps it is in his thoughts about that interrogation and kind of then his vision of his mentor, that his eyes kind of absent-mindedly find the Brackish Trudge, and then he realizes from there he can find the path to the Northern Star. And from whatever silence I imagine that we're experiencing, he'll kind of give a little croak. And because I think he won't be speaking super loud just because sound kind of carries across water. I think he's going to be speaking in more hushed tones, but I don't know if I can do that in his voice. But he's stage whispering as he will speak up and say, "Listen, that's where the Northern Star is. Look, right there. That's the direction that we can orient ourselves against and find our way to Lala's Dock in this terrible darkness."
I think you see Lutton kind of like glance up and kind of catch your gaze as he's kind of looking up. And he'll just kind of smile and nod. Yes, that's good, we've got our bearings. Oh, he looks very distracted.
Yeah.
Just a quick question for Lutzen while you're looking at the sky. Is there a craft or designation for the Northern Star?
How do you mean? Like...
So, like, we call it Polaris. So what did you think the craft paws called the Northern Star?
I am terrible at coming up with cool names. It would probably would be something like the guiding point, or like it would be something almost like technical termed.
What if they used its like longitude node or something?
I'm gonna Google
what about
the longitude of the northern.
The leading node,
so it would be like
the leading something.
191.4.9 or something.
Northern Star. I think because the Earth moves. The longitude is never going to be the same. But like, I like the leading nose. Did you say?
Oh, that's cool. I said leading node, but leading nose is quite cute. Like, it could be the end of like a little like rat's nose or something. Maybe they have like they sort of think of like the stars
or like they think of like orientation. Not we think of like the stars as like a sphere, if that makes sense. But maybe they think of it as sort of like a semi-sphere, sort of like a American football shape. And they then characterize it as like, there's the nose, there's the tail, there's like little legs.
Yeah, that's cute.
And it's a rat. And the
God.
nose is the northern star.
That's cute.
And then you've got the southern star as the tail.
The butt.
The butt.
Yeah, that's cute. Yeah, just something like that. Yeah, I'm not too sure on a set name, but I like it.
I'm just drawing a rat now. So you find the leading nose and you're quiet with your thoughts.
Oh, we're in a bit of a pickle here, Balthazar.
Well, now that we've found our guiding light, I think we'll be out of this pickle in no time. Or is it something else that is on your mind? Pickling.
I don't mean to be harming these beasts. But it's like you said earlier, it's a beast eat beast world.
This venture that we've found ourselves in does have us cross path with beasts that hold ill intent. When I was speaking with Marcus, it did seem like his path here was one of a lack of prospects or guidance. And it does seem like these fellows that he was with were genuinely concerned for him. But I suppose we know that we're up against these beasts, and we stand at odds with them, and they will not be happy to see us, and they will want to see us gone, perhaps at any cost. While we will be opposed, we can still choose to subdue but not harm. Perhaps that is the way to proceed. To make pay utmost attention to, at the end of the day, do no harm, even to those who stand against us.
Yeah, you're right, Balthy.
See, the nightly codes of Blueberry Pond speak to the sense of protecting all. But it would consider all as toad kind, of those who belong to the log, our fine cousins who live with us and our allies. But perhaps this code of knightdom should be extended to everyone. Protect all. To some extent, even protect them if they stand against us, or protect them from the meager choices they had that led them where they are. So even in spite of the decisions they made, in some way they can still be saved if their lives are not brought to an end.
I hope it's not all destruction that we leave. And you see him kind of glancing back out over the water towards the kind of licking flames of the barn house. Or boathouse, even. We can fix things. We can make it better.
Well, that's what crowdpaws do, isn't it? Fixing things.
I'm going to say, as you look over, the barn is quite distant at this point. You can barely see the flames, more just a kind of large glimmering light, larger than the others that you see. Mm-hmm. I'd say you are roughly where the E is
Okay.
on the map. You've drifted out, maybe not that far, but a bit closer.
Not quite far.
Yeah,
For
but like
maybe-
that's a distance. You've drifted out some way, and you're looking back over, and you notice as you're talking about maybe we can make a difference. The bright glimmer douses and goes and reduces to just a pinprick of light.
Mm-hmm. We should probably get a move on and get further away so we can find a safe spot to find Pipistrelle, or at least call her towards us.
Yes. I hope she hasn't been looking out for us for too long. All right, you take that door, and I'll do my best to keep up with you.
Okay. On 3. 1,
One,
2, 3.
2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
This is your opportunity to pick a fortune.
Oh no!
Brought to you by Vice and Virtue, a system that I wrote and I am not at all humble about. It is really fun. There are all these cool spreads full of encounters that are fun players will be picking from. First of all, I need to deal myself 3 cards and then not let the other players steal them because they will try.
Oh, we will.
So, the 3... Stop! Go away!
No. I will die on this hill. Denied.
Yeah, denied.
Yeah,
You have been denied. We have got 3 fortunes. So we have got that one. We've got this one. And we have got this one.
Can the camera see them?
Yes.
Oh, but we can't. That's scandalous.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And don't go watch the stream. That's cheating.
No, I won't. I never do.
So, the first one is Sentimental Trust. Your second fortune is Competitive Spirit. And your third fortune is a Convenient Excuse.
Interesting.
Oh, thank you for writing them down, Lutson.
You're welcome.
Something about convenient excuse sounds potentially dark.
Mm-hmm.
Sentimental trust sounds nice.
Competitive spirit. Oh man. These all have a weird ominous vibe to them.
Well, which one speaks to you?
I'm intrigued what sentimental trust will bring. Like,
Same.
who or what? Yeah.
Sentimentally trusting.
Yeah. Let's go with that one. I'm very intrigued by
Yeah.
that one because I feel like that
I
links
like
to
that one.
it links to it links to a character probably.
Oh, maybe.
Oh god, what if it's like? Oh, okay. It could be like something to do with Chipper or otherwise.
I hope it's Manus the wolf. He's
Chipper
paddling along
dives out of the
like-
lake, takes Lutson, dives into the water.
Riding well, it's not the Loch Ness, but
Oh my god,
an equivalent
riding
monster-
Nessie.
monster.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I've traded up
Yeah, I've upgraded from the beetle to the beast.
to a government drone. What's a government? My evil plans.
Oh my god.
Oh god,
Is
she's
Chipper
a
now just a
Tory.
Tory?
My god, Chipper's a Tory.
Okay, well then we have a
no,
reason to despise
Okay,
him.
okay.
Yeah, Balthazar's vow to do no harm does not apply against
Yeah.
Chipper.
Oh my god. Austerity is the way
Okay.
forward. No.
So which fortune are we going with today, folks?
Sentimental
trust.
Okay, I'm going to lock that in.
Wow.
Sentimental trust.
Locked in look.
And that is very interesting because I love Vice and Virtue as a system, side note, because it always throws me curveballs that I didn't expect, but then when I think about them, I'm like, oh god, that's even better than what I had planned.
Oh fuck, have we just like...
So this is
Handpicked.
really, really fun.
Oh no. For who?
I
For
have a
everyone.
very doubtful expression on my face.
Yeah, press X to doubt.
Brian woke up and
Mashing.
chose
Violence.
interesting.
Chaos.
Okay, so it is maybe 4 in. Aside from like the pitch darkness, the lack of light, you can generally see Balthazar. You can see. I'm going to say like
Let's see
the
everything.
slight. What's the word? Latitude. Like you can see the shape of the land. You can't see much detail, and that's just because there's very little light to start with. And it's also mostly grass and hills. It's so far away that you wouldn't see much detail, if that makes sense. It's not a visibility thing. It's
Yeah.
just the vast expanse of this huge loch around you.
Interesting. Yeah, there's not really any like surface detail to catch anything.
So where do you want to try and row to?
Ladies' Bank. So I guess
believe so.
north and
Wow.
west.
Wow. Are we on a time crunch? Well, we kind of are, but we're kind of not because they're already ahead of us. Someone will kind of pipe up and we'll ask Balthazar as we're kind of rowing. Balthi, I know that we're on a bit of a rush here, but isn't your Blueberry Pond right across the water here?
Yes, that would be so. Why do you ask?
Well, I just wonder if could we have allies? It seems that these stone fangs are these pirates that have originated from there. There's a lot of them. Balthi, I don't feel equipped for what might lie ahead for us.
Balthazar actually considers this, and he says, well, to be entirely honest with you, I'm not sure. This is a quest of one night. I don't know if if the entirety of the log of Blueberry Pond would be capable of sending out an entire knot or more to this cause, because at the end of the day, this is a bit of a personal mission, isn't it?
That is true.
Besides, you already have one night of Blueberry Pond. You are full equipped to take on anything.
You seem just kind of giggling a wee bit. You're right, Balthazar. There's nothing to worry about. You've had our back through this all.
Balthazar just kind of croaks and nods.
Do we?
So you paddle west.
I think so. Yeah.
I would like you guys to make vigor checks for me for the repeated action. Well, I say vigor. You are paddling. I think it's vigor just to paddle. But if you have other ideas of how you want to describe how you're taking this action, you are paddling repeatedly west, and it is a long, strenuous, repetitive task to move.
Could I sorry, I'm trying to get up on my chair. Could I roll willpower and tag my Undaunted from my Toad School Squire job? Because this is like a drill. Like, this is kind of that repeated motions of doing things, and it's kind of more about, like, to Balthazar, it's more about the literal willpower rather than like the kind of sociability of willpower, but literal, like, kind of getting into the mind.
I would let you
palace.
tag that to roll willpower. Not to get
Okay, I'll
advantage,
take
but to
it.
roll willpower.
Yeah.
With the idea that, like, your mind is drifting and focusing on the task, and your body is an autopilot.
Yeah.
So, similarly to that, would I be able to tag my shaping metal from my journeyman engineering as... I imagine once Lutzen gets into a rhythm, it's like kind of armoring, like hammering out metal or armor in some sort of capacity. Just repetitive motion in like...
Yeah, I get that vibe. To have advantage.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that would definitely give you
Still for
advantage.
vigor.
This is... Yeah,
It's
that's
just
still
repetitive
vigor,
motion,
but
like
it's...
he's still ready,
That's,
he knows what
yeah,
he's
that's
doing.
advantage.
Stunning. Okay.
So both of you roll. Balthazar, you have got a single cunning roll and
willpower. If I were rolling
willpower.
cunning,
Sorry,
I
willpower.
would be really
yeah.
bad off.
And then Fraser has got.
No!
Oh my goodness. That was almost like capsize level of drama. Could you imagine if you hadn't tagged, Lutzen? Wow. So Balthazar, on a 12, you roll a hijinks. Something goes terribly wrong. The narrative describes how things go awry and hijinks may follow. Lutzen, you barely managed to pull it off. Wow, I was not expecting that.
No.
You are concentrating, pulling, and I'm going to change the music a little bit.
Oh no.
God.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let's go for this one. I feel it just suits the theme. You are rowing and pulling, and then suddenly there is a... You have hit something.
Oh.
Is it me or
the boat. So the boat has rammed into something that you didn't see. Mostly because I think the both of you were focusing on the repetitiveness of the task and weren't necessarily looking where you were going. So you're kind of looking behind to row, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have rammed into something because you haven't looked behind you, which is forward for the boat.
Yeah.
Okay. The boat tips, and is about to like capsize and turn over. What do you guys do?
Lutzen would pull Balthazar over, or depending on which side is going up, but he would pull either Balthazar over or run over to the other side to balance the weight.
So you do that. The boat, you go to counterbalance. You kind of, we'll say like it tips to Balthazar's side, so you pull Balthazar towards you. That causes the boat to rock just as hard the other direction. Balthazar, what do you do? The boat is rocking violently back and forth and could capsize.
Balthazar is going to, I think, kind of lunge forward, but go to like the center.
Okay.
To hopefully with our like weight to kind of like, you know, settle it in.
I want both of you to make cunning rolls for me because you are using your knowledge and awareness of the boat to manipulate it to stop it from capsizing.
Okay.
I don't think I can tag anything
yeah,
for
I'm
this.
just searching. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'll just roll.
Yeah.
No!
No! That's cursed.
This is incredible.
What the fuck?
Oh my god, I rolled the same result on my highest and lowest dice.
It's fate. This is the story telling us it has to go this way. You lunge forward to the middle of the boat or Balthazar, you lunge forward. As Lutzen, you don't realize what Balthazar's trying to do, so you pull Balthazar. You full on just toss Balthazar out of the boat with the momentum. The boat rocks, capsizes, and clonks Balthazar on the way down. So like Balthazar, you go into the water, whoosh, clonk.
Like I'm hit or I'm covered?
Yes. You're
Wait,
covered. You take one vigor damage as the boat kind of hits you as you fall into the water.
Oh, so sorry.
Lutzen, you are now underneath the boat. You cannot see anything. And the boat is... Well, you don't know what's going on. You're paddling. You're panicking.
Yeah,
what
I
do
think
you
he's in a full panic. Because last time he was in the water, he was thrashing about getting eaten by a pike. I think I just try and surface, just find up.
You swim. You swim, you smack around, you hit the side of the boat, you turn, you swim in the other direction, you hit the other side of the boat, you try and scrabble up onto it, it curves away from you, up, you realise you were inside the boat and it is floating on the water. If that makes sense.
Wait, so it's capsized, but I'm like underneath it?
Yes. So there is like the air pocket, like, Caribbean, Pirates of the Caribbean.
That is the first fucking thing I thought of as well.
Yeah, that's perfect. I love that. Okay. Is there wee benches at all, like that we were kind of sitting on? Like
there is a wee bench in the middle.
So I imagine he would go to grab that just to hold on for dear life, because he hates this. He's panicking.
You dig your rat claws in, and you're able to get a good grip. It's wood. It's not like lacquered or treated. You just you sink it, and you hold, and you kind of lock, and you're sort of drifting. You're like,
yeah.
uh-oh,
and
oh
he's
stars.
Just gonna scream out to Balthazar. Balthy, where Balthazar?
Balthy, you smacked on the sort of like back of you. You kind of were flung into the water, and then the boat, as it turned, smacked you onto the back, stunned you temporarily, and now you're sinking.
Hold on, you
feel
for me, Brian.
The water just rushing around you. Oh, that was Ver re-entering the chat, I assume.
Ooh.
Ver, hello.
Oh no, technical difficulties.
Don't let Balthazar drown! No! Okay, we're gonna go back to Lutzen.
Hello?
You don't know where Balthazar is.
You for some reason. You keep breaking up a wee bit for me.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
Hold on, okay.
I have a good connection to YouTube. Drama. Can you still hear me?
Okay. Give me 2 seconds just to see. Right.
We're going to go to break
Ryan?
temporarily while we fix all of this. BRB with this thrilling conclusion of a drowning doad.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, we are back. A little bit of technical difficulties. We love it. Roll 20. Last we had Fraser yelling out, not Fraser, Lutzen yelling out, Balthy, Balthy, and hearing nothing. Balthazar The world spins, and then suddenly you are surrounded by the cold embrace of Loch Katrine. You feel the slow rubbing of water passing over your skin, and realize that with a growing throbbing sensation, something hit you. Kind of on the back and also on the head, and you kind of piece things together as the kind of the stunning smack of the side of the boat wears off, that the boat's capsized and you're sinking into the loch.
So, as we have ascertained before the show, as a toad, I'm able to hold my breath for 4 to 8 hours.
Oh my God.
However, that's intentional. I want you to roll a 1d4 for me.
Oh no. I know I'm gonna roll a 1.
No.
Okay, you managed to have most of a full breath in your lungs. You don't know how long that means you'll last, but that's where you're at.
Okay.
So it's not
I
like
think-
you were completely winded.
Yeah, which I think helps because he's not, in that initial panic of like, oh god, I can't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is all very disorienting. First question, can he swim? Can I swim?
So, a toad, normally, I think yes, you could paddle aptly. In a breastplate, a sodden, damp tunic with your bag and with your... Well, actually, you don't have your bag or your hammer.
Oh!
That would have been in the boat.
No!
You wouldn't have had a boat that on. In a breastplate and padded tunic and armor, it's difficult. And you wouldn't be able to keep it up for long.
Oh, no.
It's the sort of thing you would roll for, just so you know.
Yeah, I think he has that moment of realizing that his hammer would have fallen out. In this water, can he look around to see if it's sinking or if anything's sinking, like kind of trails of bubbles, anything?
So I'm going to ask for a cunning check. So try phrase this in a way that is not just a relying on your senses.
Bearing in
Yes.
mind, you still have your question, Belthy, from your neutral.
Oh,
Yeah, but
yeah.
how-
I don't know if you
how
can word
could
it in
I-
a.
Just it's good to remind that you have these sorts of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
'Cause
like
the
I
question
mean,
is like is it a story point you can kind of ask, or like what's the?
it's
just
the
a-
outcome of an action.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can
okay.
ask about the consequences of an action, and I give you a full answer. So it's not like
Okay.
I'm trying to be sneaky with you. I give you
Yeah.
what do I think would happen and be best for the story.
Got you. Okay. I mean, if that came to the consequence of like you're struggling between two places, like go for the hammer or the kind of bag or something.
Oh, I'm going for the hammer.
Yeah.
Because I
Good
think,
job.
yeah. Oh god.
Sorry, I hope I didn't
I don't
throw you
really
off.
know how to. I don't know how to use the question for this. If I
Yeah,
were
it's
to
maybe not
use
relevant
it,
for
so I
this
just
one.
say, oh god, I'm so thrown off right now. Oh god.
I think Balthi's a little bit thrown off as well.
Yeah.
I want you to
I think
make
this
a
will have to be a
willpower roll
cunning-
for me.
Oh?
I want to make a willpower roll just for me, the narrator, to
Okay.
see some things I want to try and like reinforce.
Why couldn't I get that earlier? For fuck's sake.
I feel like sinking in armor and moving through water in armor is actually a skill that Mud Furies are trained in. It's one of the reasons why they can walk along the bottom is because they have the weight to be able to manipulate. As you sink a little bit and you're kind of panicking, you hold on to the breath that you've got, you let your eyes unfocus, you let your muscles relax so that you can let the panic out, and then you feel more competent. You know that you can move through the water if you are considerate and careful.
When you say move through the water, you mean swim?
Like
or,
swim or walk on the bottom. Like I'm just kind of reminding you, like, Mud Furies do this all the time, so this is maybe how some of those skills could come into play.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there's 2 wolves in one
is a writer.
One is like I have to, because I will say, full disclosure, I think Ikilucky was in her Ikilucky could fly up in her little container. Please don't just kill my pet.
I wasn't thinking
that's,
about
like,
that, don't
my
worry.
boundary thing.
Of course.
So I think, like, Balthazar would be like, okay, I know that she's safe. But then there's the thought of, like, my items are temporary, we have to help with the boat, but then he thinks of the hammer and how it's the last thing he has from
Lavinia.
And I think in a moment of weakness, he's going to think, I need to go get that, because it's the last thing I have of her. Even though this goes against what being, like, what he should be doing. In this moment, I think he will succumb to that weakness.
So you're trying to look around and swim for the hammer. What are you going to try and tag to flavor this for you?
I'm going to tag my taking care of equipment. The hammer has the tooth itself kind of in the or Balthazar remembers that in the tooth itself, it has, like, some of those kind of hollowed out points just from the root, and they will produce bigger bubbles when it's suddenly submerged in the water because air will escape a little belatedly from them. So he's gonna look for that kind of trail.
Okay, so that would give you advantage on a cunning roll.
Shit. Okay.
No! Yes!
This is what I love about the
getting all
D4,
crits.
is that it goes in many different ways. It can go horribly wrong and horribly right. The order is the complication and the critical success. The complication is, like, that's when you let your muscles relax, you let the training that you had, like, too little of it. You were on track to become a Mud Fury, but the war started. But you let those old memories seep back in, you relax, you calm, and then you remember. Check your surroundings, look around, always be aware of the things that are above, below, and to the side of you. You find that trail of bubbles in the water because you have good eyesight, and you're like, that shape, that's the hammer. You swim towards it. Your muscles are burning a little bit as you're pushing through the cold water. It's like an unexpected temperature change. And you seize your hand onto the wooden haft of the hammer.
Oh my god, I'm genuinely elated as a player that I actually managed to get it here. I don't know if this is, maybe this is temporary, but like, literally the entirety of this character was designed around that hammer. It's very
Could you
important
imagine
to me.
losing it on this quest?
I would be so mad.
Can you imagine coming back and having to explain, like, to Atlanta what happened? Like, where's the hammer?
Oh, God.
You don't know.
No, so I think everything, because honestly, he's kind of given away everything that was super important, like his banner. All of that is things that are only, or anything that had any, like, very sentimental value for him was used to help others. But this, he needs to help himself.
Yep.
This hammer is there for that. So
as you seize the hammer, the camera goes over your shoulder, follows the bubbles up through the dark water to Lutzen. You have been yelling for Balthazar for a minute, an hour, you don't know. You are panicking. There is no response.
Okay. I think still holding on to the wee, like, bench, he's going to kind of, like, use that to kind of lower himself down, and we'll try and paddle in a... No, that doesn't make any sense.
You hear thrashing and spluttering from something outside of the boat. Something is struggling in the water outside the boat.
Okay, I think in hearing that, he will kind of, still, like, holding onto the boat and using it to guide him, will kind of duck into the water and duck under it and to the outside of it and try and scramble on top of the upside down boat.
Okay, so to swim underneath, that's fine, but to get on top of the boat, that's going to be a roll. So I want you to describe how you're going about that.
I mean, he's got his sharp claws, so I think he will kind of like dig into it to use it for holdings, but will also use the little ridges of the wood, even though they're sealed. There will probably still be weak points that he could.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know,
so that sounds like it's going to be a vigor roll. Do you want to tag anything?
I'll use my eye for detail to kind of suss out what maybe the best path would be, or like looking out for little handholds or paw holds.
Perfect. So you dive under the water. You kind of brace your feet against the bench and then kick out underneath, swim up and round, and then grab your claws onto the boat, the top of it. Do you come out to the side where you hear the thrashing or away from the thrashing?
I'm going to say away from the thrashing because he doesn't know what it is, but he will try and get up onto the boat to get a sight of who or what it is.
Okay, so I want you to make that vigor roll for me at advantage, and then I'll describe what happens next.
Critical success and a complication.
A critical success. You do better than expected. You dive out into the water, and it is actually a better situation than expected. A fluorescent green light illuminates the side of the boat and the top of it. You look and see that your bioluminescent terrarium is sort of floating in the water, and very slowly floating away, kind of propelled by the thrashing and the kicking and the twisting and stuff like that. But also, atop the boat, on its ridge, is Icky Lucky, glowing quite brightly and sort of like running back and forth to stay in the center or the highest point of the boat as it sways back and forth. You onto the top of the boat and literally look like a drowned rat. You look into the dark water, and in the intense shadows, you see a bird. Some small bird is thrashing in the water. You look around, and you see that you have hit some kind of large log that is floating away from both you, the boat, and the bird, and that the boat has a small dent and broken plank on the overturned side.
Okay. Oh, beans. That's a lot. Okay. Oh, crap.
It's not a hole as big as, say, like the one you fixed. It's like a small dent.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I don't recognize the bird at all. Is it right next to the boat, did you say?
It's very intense shadows. It would be a roll to try and suss out who or what the bird is.
Okay. I mean, but they're right next. They are right next to the boat, though.
Not next to the boat. They're sort of thrashing. They seem to be in distress. You can tell it's not a bird that swims. So it's not like, say, a kingfisher or a seagull or something like that. It's small, maybe like tit-sized. That sort of like small songbird.
Right. Lutsen will... He will dive back into the water, but will use... He'll try and push the bird along, I guess, or like kind of lure the bird closer to him, and maybe like hang on to one side and like use his tail to let the bird like grab on. To try and lure over.
So that is going to be a vigor check or a cunning check, whichever you choose.
Okay, I'm going to say cunning, but because I'm going to use my dexterous tail feature.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Just to kind of like
That's awesome.
I'd say manipulate that and kind of move it in a way that...
Now that you're aware of the space, the boat isn't huge. Now that you're aware of your space, you sink into the water and actually wrap your tail around, say, maybe like the prong where the oar would sit comfortably. Yeah. You wrap your tail around that in the water on the underside of the what is now the underside of the boat, and stretch yourself out to grab onto the bird. You stretch out. It's not actually going to be a roll because it's just a good idea. Okay. You grab one of the legs of the bird, and then it orientates itself, spreads its wings out, and looking back at you, terrified, soaked through, is a bird you do recognize. It is Sir Sobs, Mikhail, the cultist you sent to Blueberry Pond.
Oh. Lutsen will call out and will say, just hold on, come onto the boat, come with me.
Mikhail follows, and is like, oh, and kind of goes to like peck you in self-defense, and then sort of rears and goes, Lutsen, what are you doing? And he sort of goes with you, and then sort of like clambers onto the overturned boat.
And we'll kind of perch ourselves back on top of the boat to kind of calm it and just sit, just to get our breath.
You take a deep breath, and then the thought kind of I say like lots of people probably say this aloud. You go, Balthazar, and that is when we go back down. The camera plunges beneath the water back to Balthazar, who is sinking into the loch. I feel like for a toad, like sinking down into the loch is similar to like deep diving for humans.
Yeah.
Like it's not a short distance to get to the bottom of this place.
No.
So tell me what's going on.
Well, I think now that he has the hammer, and admittedly he has the armor and everything, but with the training, he knows that it is possible. Like, it's not going to be easy, but he's kind of going to, if he paces himself and uses the right technique, he would be able to make it back to the surface. And I think he's just going to test to see if he can do that. He's a growing boy.
Okay. So this sounds like it's going to be a vigor check because it is relying on training and routine. You have disadvantage because you're using one hand.
Yes, I wanted to ask actually about my reduced dice. My dice was increased because we had like a great breakfast or something. So it was a D10. So currently, does it go down to a D8 or does it go down to a D6?
Goes down to a D8 because it's only going down one step.
Okay.
Your extra breakfast, I think maybe like the breakfast gave you that extra fortitude to maybe like overcome that knock more than,
All right. I just wanted to make sure.
Of course.
All right. Can I, rather than use one hand, put the hammer in my mouth and use two hands?
Yes. But if you roll poorly, this won't go well. Increased risk.
The consequences.
So, if you roll a hijinks, I can't guarantee you'll keep the hammer, but you will get rid of the disadvantage.
I'll take the disadvantage. I'm too paranoid about this. Vigor,
huh? Yeah. Yes!
Oh my god!
That is two critical successes.
Oh my god! Aspiring Mud Fury.
Unlocked.
Something about that holding that hammer. It's like Thor's hammer. He's gonna hold it up and it's gonna propel him upward.
Oh my god.
I'm actually gonna say, maybe, you know how like divers follow the bubbles to know which way is up? That's actually what is helping you here, is because you grab the hammer, you turn, you twist in the water, you're disorientated, you pause, you follow the last few bubbles leaving the hollow of the hammer up, and that is what allows you to surface.
So I think,
So you follow the bubbles up, you get to the surface of the water, you are kind of like broad strokes, you surface, and you walk maybe, I don't know, 10 or 20 paces from the boat. The trajectory has taken you quite far off in your swim up. And you look over and you see like the form of Lutzen on the capsized boat and this bird.
I think just kind of out of... well, he's really using his breath. But I think he surfaces and is just kind of sputtering just from the physical exertion of it, but is going to kind of breaststroke over to the boat. He's gonna actually, you know what? He's gonna give out like a croak, just to signal he's here. But he's not going to say anything just yet. He's gonna go towards that boat with his critical success.
Side question, I feel like a toad could inflate their croak pouch with enough air to be a flotation device.
Oh my god, yes, 100%, yes, yes, he does that. Yeah.
You let out like a low croak, and it's sort of like as you kind of able to breathe in air, and now you can kind of like paddle over with your legs, securely able to stay above the water in your armor.
Yeah, that's how they swim with their armor on.
Oh my god.
I'm
very much imagining
as a flotation
like
device.
that that video of like the wee seal that just like floats there with its head out the water and like spinning in circles, but it's just Balthazar with a croak pouch, just like that's how he's floating. Like
Yeah.
So you
That's how they
swim
do.
over, and Lutzen, you kind of go, "Oh, Balthazar!" and you hear bonk, and the boat shifts a little bit, and you turn around, and there's Balthazar, croak pouch engorged, hammer in hand. Arrgh!
he's so mighty. Lutzen faints and he swoons.
Sploosh into the water.
The
Lutzen drowns.
Lutzen drowns. He's dead. Next.
Lutzen!
Now, so I'm playing Mikhail. Mikhail flies away, and no.
The end.
The end. End of adventure.
But this is not the end of your troubles.
No.
Yeah.
Balthazar, you climb onto the boat. There is space for all three of you. You realize, oh, it's Mikhail.
Yeah, so I think actually Balthazar won't climb onto the boat. He's going to kind of stay with that like inflation pouch. Oh god, that sounds horrible. With his throat kind of pouched out.
That's not air.
Well, it's better than inflation pouch, which sounds like a pig. He's just going to stay floating kind of near the boat, just holding on to it. Just kind of like look over and say, "Sir, was he Sir?" Because his name is Mikhail, but his title would be Sir.
He is Sir
Sobs.
Mikhail.
Sir Mikhail.
But they called him Sir Sobs because he had a sob story.
Oh, okay, but he wanted to be. I think he wanted to be called Mikhail, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
He's like, okay, so he's going to say, Mikhail, I'd say well met, but the circumstances are rather poorly. Were you by any chance the reason that we capsized?
And he sort of turns and he goes, Balthazar, it's good to see you. Yes, I think you hit me with your boat. Of all the places to meet you again, I did not want to be underneath you again.
Well, I'm very sorry that we hit your boat, or hit you with a boat. You're a songbird. What are you doing on the water? You could just fly over it.
And you kind of see that he kind of like shakes himself a little bit and water flicks off, and you notice that he is wearing a Blueberry Pond tabard. Kind of modified into a sort of like flight suit. It's not like he's showing it off, but you, Balthazar, would immediately recognize the regalia, the color, the texture. And he says, there's not time to just look at your stuff. It's all sinking. And my tube. And he sort of searches himself, and you realize he's looking for some kind of tube, something he had.
A tube, you say? Wait, Balthazar is gonna scramble on the boat, and can he unbuckle his breastplate?
You can. It will take time to take off your armor.
Could Lutzen help, or like will that take too long? Because the boat has a hole in the sinking.
It's not sinking, but if you turn it around, it will. If that makes sense, it's sort of floating on the water.
Oh, okay. So
but like the base of it has a hole, but because it's turned over, that's not affecting it right now. If that makes sense.
That's good.
I think Balthazar will kind of. He's gonna at least go to try to start taking off the breastplate, but he will start asking questions of Mikhail. He'll say, "What is this tube? Does it float or does it sink?"
It's a sealed metal tube. I retrieved it. I'm on a scouting mission for Blueberry Pond. They need to get that. It has paperwork in there.
Sealed. Will it sink or will it float?
Sink. It's made of tin.
Oh god damn it! I think in that case actually he's.
And then he sort of looks around and scans the skies. And then says, I was hiding. Seagulls were following me from New Dam.
No.
We need to douse these lights. They can't know we're here.
Oh, beans.
Well, Balthazar, I guess, will croak at Ikilaki for her to go dim.
You give like the and Ikilaki just goes and is now sort of like barely a glimmering yellow.
Yeah.
Okay. Lutzen will grab the wee terrarium from the water
You swim out and you kind of get the terrarium under one arm and you kind of paddle back and you have the terrarium. You can't really turn it off, but you can huddle around it.
Yeah, I'll just kind of shield it, kind of over it.
Balthazar will look to where that log was.
Mm-hmm.
Or he look around and hopefully see the log that Mikhail was on.
Mm-hmm. Mikhail says, "It's just a piece of driftwood that was on the lock. I needed to pause and rest. I've been flying all night."
Well, Balthazar, I think, will hold up his hammer, which he has fought so much to hold on to, and give it to Lutzen, and say, "Hold on to this," and then he'll turn and say, "If this tube has sunken, but with my armor on, I can hopefully sink faster than it can. If I go to where that piece of driftwood is, I can sink down beneath it and hope to spot it. You two will have to deal with these seagulls."
Right. Before you go, Bathy, he'll just kind of point out that, because we ran into the driftwood, it may be closer below us, so it might be somewhere in between.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So he will kind of point that out with his kind of, eye for detail and such.
Of course, the most astute observations from a craft paw.
Well,
say,
that's what I do.
With that terrarium of yours, would it be secure underwater?
I was just about to say, I think it's best if you take it with you and give you some sight under there. I can't see anything down there.
All right. Well.
And he'll swap over the terrarium for the hammer, and we'll just hug the hammer very tightly.
So the terrarium is sort of, I feel like, on a scale, it's sort of like a football. Like an English football, but sized for a toad, if that makes sense. So it fits neatly under one arm, but it's kind of bulky. It is made of a thin glass that takes knocks, but you could definitely smash if dropped. And it is sealed with wax and a bit of cork.
Yeah, I imagine there's almost a wee hook on it, and so...
hang on, that's my door.
Oh, buzz.
Discuss what we're going to do. Make your plans.
Okay. Lutzen will take a wee bit. I mean, it all really depends if we still have our kit, because his carried items, he has some ivy rope that he could give you to kind of tie onto your armor.
I honestly don't think we have anything.
I don't think we've got... Oh god, we've got cackle.
But maybe you could hook it on... I have a belt.
Yes, okay, we'll do that then.
Across my belt.
Yeah, just so you don't have to carry it, because that would also hinder...
Yeah, because it'll hinder actually swimming. Though also, if I put it in my croak pouch, it would be funny, because then I would just glow in the dark.
It's like disco lights. Glow in the dark frog. Just please don't swallow it. It doesn't taste that good.
Toad, please. But yeah, I'll if there's a hook on it and I can hook it across my belt, that'll be the best, I think.
Yeah, just don't swallow it for the love of God.
I'm not
I think the mushroom might be poisonous. I'm not quite sure. It glows and I didn't really check.
Challenge accepted.
Oh no. You just see Balthazar's dead body float up to the water.
Just in 5 minutes. He couldn't help himself.
His little croak pouch just oh no, that's grim. No.
Just, a horrible flotation.
There's a really grim version of the Ophelia painting in my mind now, but it's Balthazar floating in the river, croak pouch inflated, but mushrooms growing out of him, glowing.
Oh no, that's horrible.
Grim.
That's some
grim.
Fallout weirdness, radioactive mushroom stuff. Yeah, no, thank you.
My apologies. This is a good plan. In the meantime, do you think Watson should... Enemy. Oh my god. The bioluminescent toad.
Yeah.
Do you think Watson should try and... Keeper of the Lake. The Watson of the Lake.
No.
Should I try and get the driftwood in the meantime?
I feel if I go drift down, you guys are gonna have to deal with these gosh dang seagulls.
Oh bugger.
You better not drop my hammer. I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh, I mean, I will do everything in my favor not to.
Hello, I'm back. Guess what? That wasn't for me, it was for the guy above me, but I had to get Age ID to receive it to then find out it wasn't for me.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
So I don't know what the hell he has ordered.
Yeah, what is he getting? What the hell?
But I hope he enjoys himself.
Sus.
Sure.
It was big and it was heavy.
Oh.
A lot of alcohol, or maybe...
Or something very specialized. In any case.
Anyway, that's going to be a cunning roll to try and find to try and find the tube. It's small and made of tin. And you have
what-
advantage
so
because you
we-
have the terrarium. Oh, you have a plan. Tell me.
So what
Oh,
we're going to
well,
do
wait.
is we're going to...
Yes. Please continue.
We're going to attach the terrarium to Balthazar's like belt so it's not hindering his arms. Because I imagine Balthazar has like a little tool belt almost, or like little hooks.
You could
and
figure
things.
it out, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah. I think that's kind of... Was that it? Was that what we said?
Well, we also God, I feel like we were talking a lot, but then some of it was just jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Or
I
maybe
think
collecting
that's just the main thing, that we can put it around his belt so his hands aren't hindered. And now he has a light source underwater.
Yes. Oh yeah, because then we were talking about you swallowing it, and no.
Yeah.
Just to the belt.
Lots of the like.
So
yeah.
I'm gonna say like maybe you don't necessarily have a belt, but you do have like you can like strap it in one of your straps, if that makes sense, of your armor.
Yeah.
So you unbuckle and then rebuckle with it through the buckle.
Yeah.
And then you jump into the water. Yes.
Yes, and now yes, and now you say it's a
Cunning roll to try and find the tube, or to spot it, but you have advantage because you have like the terrarium and Lutzon's advice.
okay. Whoa!
Yes.
Critical
Oh my
success,
God.
better than expected. You, with like the advice that it's closer than you might think, you point your toes or your webbed feet and you sink as fast as you can, and you. You notice something shining in the water, sinking. You swim towards it, and I'm going to say it's small and you're going down, so it's easy to get there, and you're able to grab it. It is a small tin tube that was sinking very fast because it's thin and heavy.
Streamlined.
You have
Yeah,
grabbed
I
it.
think...
You are now quite far down from the surface. What do you want to try and do?
I think okay, so this is secured. He's not gonna go for anything else. If there's still stuff around, that's fine. That's collateral. It happens. Can he? I think he's once again gonna try to slowly make his way up.
I'd say slowly and surely you can swim your way up.
Okay,
That's not going
even
to require a
it's-
check if you're doing it slowly.
Yeah, and I know that if my pals get, I don't know, attacked by seagulls, that's for them to figure out, as I think Balthazar just doesn't want to risk, like, overexerting himself in this situation, so he's going to be slowly making his way up.
Lutzen, and I guess Mikhail, but that's me. Lutzen, what are you doing to look out for danger?
A very good question. Well, we don't have any of the, like, there's no lights really hindering us, so I think he's just going to try and unfocus his eyes against the backdrop of the Milky Way and just look out for silhouettes flying.
Okay, that's going to be a cunning check for awareness of your surroundings at disadvantage because you're a rat.
Okay.
Because rats have bad eyesight, not because I hate rats, I love rats.
Yeah.
Can you
But,
tag anything?
I mean, I have my eye for detail, but it's not really like, it's like up close detail, not...
Yeah, like that's for like fine things and for examining. This is scanning the entirety of the horizon in all directions.
So could I tag my natural curiosity in that?
Sell me, I'm unconvinced.
So, Lutzen, bit of a scatterbrain, we know this. Quite often finds himself just daydreaming and glancing up into the sky and noticing strange patterns just in the clouds and in the sky and in the night stars, and is maybe used to seeing things flitting by. He's what's the word?
I'll let you have a straight roll because I feel like that's in character. That's a tag that's in character. I wasn't convinced, but that makes sense. Yeah.
Nice. So you said cunning or willpower?
Cunning. Straight roll.
Okay. A success.
You do as well as you can. You lie yourself on the back of the boat and look up so that you're not straining or craning your neck. A cool breeze washes over the lake, and you actually shiver a little bit as cold water, the heat of the sun isn't here. You shiver a little bit. Mikhail sort of like shakes feathers again. Other than that, you two are silent, waiting.
Yeah. What is that?
It's Balthazar.
Oh my god.
The water is slowly lapping at the side of the boat, and then there's sort of like, and then boom, and then the kind of glowing light of Balthazar emerges. And actually, because you were both looking at the sky, you didn't see it, but there was sort of like this of like a glowing ball of light coming up towards the surface.
It's the lady of the lake. No.
Balthazar has a sword.
I found it in the muck.
You shall be the true king of Scotland.
I will be the king. I found it.
It's like the zombie mud furies, Pirates of the Toadabean, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Lockerbie? Anyway.
Lockerbie?
So, Balthazar, you surface, you swim over, you climb onto the boat, and I think that, with a little bit of wrap-up, is where we're going to end today's session. You give the tube to Mikhail, who is relieved, and we'll talk with you later next session. This scene is not over, but I think it would be interesting to see what Pipistrelle is getting up to and how she might factor into this scene as well. In the meantime, as part of wrap-up, you guys take stock of what is gone. I'm going to go into your inventories and remove what I think has sunk.
No! But
Balthazar, your... Okay, so this is interesting. I don't think your rock rope anchor flail is gone, because I think you would have tied it to the boat to use as an anchor, and so you're able to pull it up. Like, the anchor is just dangling in the water right now.
Yes, it's helped catch us afloat.
The polishing kit is gone. The mess kit is gone. The grappling hook and rope would be in a bag is gone. Boartooth hammer remains. Slug jam is gone. Firefly lantern. I'm going to say the lantern is gone, but you still have Icky Lucky, so I'm going to replace that with Icky Lucky. The knapsack, sunk. Armor you are wearing. Reduced map of the forest. That is sunk and would be ruined by the water. Assorted pottery. I'm really sorry. It's gone.
My rat ceramic mug!
I want you to make two... you are going to make 2 rolls to see if you can spot these things before they sink for your straw boater hat and your bottle of cider. I want you to describe to me how you might try and find them.
I'll say these... Well, the straw boater hat is going to be on the surface. I think the bottle of cider would maybe be something... Actually, I don't know. Sorry, so I'm... you said I'm going to be making 2 rolls and see if I can...
to try and retrieve them, if you can. Yeah, so describe how you would find them. So like you said, the straw boater hat is floating, so how would he go about that?
My compassionate demeanor, because that straw boater hat is a present from Pip, and he's looking real hard, and he wants fate to intervene and bring it back to him.
That's relying on your senses, you know what I'm gonna ask.
Yeah, yep. The straw boater hat is fucking gone, dude.
It has floated away. The bottle of cider, how are you looking for that? I'd say because it's a bottle and it's a liquid, there's a little bit of air. There is a short window where it would kind of be floating, maybe mid in the water before it sinks to the bottom.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I don't think that Balthazar would be looking for it. I think this is just a chance thing if he had spotted it on his way up or down either one of his dives.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna say that's just a straight cunning roll for me.
Yeah. Complication.
I'm gonna say that's good enough. You're able to keep the bottle of cider.
We can crack it open right now.
Yeah, he can drink the loss of his straw boater hat.
Actually, I think that's more fun. The bottle of cider is cracked, and I think that's a nice way to end the episode, is you have to drink it, because otherwise it will just leak out. Like, it's
Yeah.
a little bit diluted because there's a little bit of water has seeped in, but, like, the bottle is broken.
Yeah.
So I think you guys opening it and drinking it is... And also getting your first taste of cider. I think that's the way to go for it.
Yeah.
Well, so I think like when he swims over, having had retrieved it, and we're all kind of just sitting there, soaked and waiting. Balthazar will be like, "Oh, well, seems this bottle is damaged, and it would be a shame for all of this to go to waste. So,
Such a tragedy.
good to see you again, Mikhail. How about we crack this one open to commemorate?"
That would definitely help keep us warm, I think. And he sort of, again, shivers a little bit in the cool breeze.
There's not much else to do.
And so you all sort of like... I feel like toads are the only ones that actually drink from a cup. The others are kind of like, nom, 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 like licking or like pecking at the liquid.
Yeah.
Aww.
I'm also going to give you 1 tick into Righteous. You didn't tag it, but I think that moment with the hammer and the swimming up and the double crit success on a disadvantage is enough to like... That feels, and it's in my power as the narrator to say, that's a moment where you're training your righteousness, that, you know, belief in your skills and that power forward mentality.
Okay. Oh, I thank
So,
you.
the remaining things you have are Rock Rope Anchor Flail, Boartooth Hammer, Armor, Icky Lucky, and a broken bottle. Because I'm not going to, like, get rid of the bottle, because it's empty, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Lutzen.
gonna use it to stab someone.
No. Like, all of my stuff is gone, I can tell.
Associated Ship Repair Tools, those are
Gone.
gone. Sunk. Bendy Metal, sunk. Pouch of Coal would be ruined by the water and is sunk. Flint and Tinder, that is also sunk.
Oh my god.
Hooked Knife, it's sunk. Trail Mix, ruined by the water. It would have scattered around. It might not have sunk, but it would have just, like, diffused out. You do have your bioluminescent terrarium.
Yeah.
Your red bandana knapsack would have sunk because it would have been containing heavier things. Stripped ivy rope.
It would float.
I'm thinking. I think it might float. I'm thinking it might have been in the boat for use. So I'd say we'll return to that. Bag of oats, gone. Goggles, you would have been wearing
It would
those.
be on, yeah.
Yeah. Sycamore sap baked seeds would be gone. The antiseptic poultice would be gone. And your empty oil can would be gone. Well, no. Your oil can is empty. It is hollow. So
Yeah,
you have
hollow.
2 opportunities. The stripped ivy rope and the oil can. Tell me how you want to try and retrieve them.
You said they're kind of floating around, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he would do the same kind of thing and dive into the water and use his tail as an anchor point on the boat to try and reach out and get them.
So that's going to be 2 cunning rolls for me. They are currently just straight rolls.
Okay. Can I tag anything? No. Okay. Okay, success. And a success!
So I'm going to say that, like, you spot the oil can glint slightly on the water as, like, dawn light starts to very slowly filter in from behind the mountains. And you hook your tail in, you swim out onto the water, and you also find the ivy rope as well. I am also going to say there are 3 pocket items that would not be with you anymore. Your craftable seal is gone.
No.
It is made of metal, it is sunk. Your mint is gone. It's just a few leaves. And your rat ceramic mug is also gone. I'm sorry.
I literally have nothing. I'm raging.
I am sorry about that. I did not expect this to happen. And it is exciting that it has.
Yeah, I mean, we rolled those just hijinks after hijinks, but then, like, I got all those crit successes after that, but I would have loved them to not capsize the
no.
goddamn boat.
So we leave our beasts as they sit atop a capsized boat with a leak in it to
Oh my god.
not reconvene, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically catch up to discover what Mikhail's been doing, why he is wearing a Blueberry Pond uniform,
Well, I
why
wonder
he has a secret message or some kind of sealed metal tube that he needs to get back to them as soon as possible from New Dam. All this and more
Where's
next episode. New Dam is far to the
I
west,
see it.
on the edge of Loch Katrine.
Man.
Or Loch Katrine, even. It's not Katrine, it's Trin.
Loch Katrine.
Dang, dude.
Loch Katrine. So,
If you had the chance to change your fate, would you?
I mean, in this case, I think both of you would.
Yes, we would.
Yes, yeah, 100%
Absolutely
please.
would. If you had the chance to change a role, would you? Okay. I'm done. Goodbye.
If only y'all had an auto other or auto self success, things could have turned
Okay,
out
Robin.
differently.
Yeah, I just had this stupid question, and it's useless.
Oh, you rub it in, Brian.
Oh, I love playing this. It's so fun. Oh, but I think we should give our little outro and get ready for next week when we have the return of Atlanta. I think that's what the episode is going to be called. The Return of
Yeah,
Pipistrelle.
Return of Atlanta.
Yes.
Beast Fables
Return of
3,
Atlanta.
The Return of the Pipistrelle. I am Brian. I have been your narrator today, and it has been a joy. I genuinely love playing with you guys. I run Dungeons on a Dime, an entry-level publisher. Despite all the interruptions, we have made it through to the end of the episode. It's been a lot of fun. You can find all my stuff at doad.co.uk. I have so many cool projects happening right now. There is Scurry, there is Vice and Virtue. You can find those at my website. You can find all of this stuff on Roll20. It's in the marketplace. There's cool art happening. I have a neat zine that'll be coming out for free next week, all collaged, called Enchanting in the Northlands, which is a mixture of tabletop role-playing game, like spell system and world building. It's by myself and my friend Lizzie, who's a writer. That's really cool. You can get it for free on my Patreon right now if you want, a little preview. And yeah, it's just all sorts of cool stuff happening. I have been joined today by Ver and Fraser. Ver, do you want to introduce yourself again?
Pipistrelle, everybody. I have been Ver. You can find me on social media, Verface at Twitter, Sticks and Sharks at Tumblr, and you can also support me on Patreon at Verface if you would be so inclined. Brian, thank you very much for having me today. Fraser, I can't believe how bad our rules were at the beginning.
I am so pissed.
But it was quite fun,
It was
and I'm very
drama.
curious to see where things go from here.
And Fraser, do you want to reintroduce yourself? Hopefully better than I introduced you at the beginning of the episode.
Yep, so I am Fraser, and I am also an illustrator and character artist. You can find me by the alias of Lostastronaut on Twitter, Instagram, and such. You can also support me on Patreon at patreon.com/lostastronaut, where I do a lot of behind the scenes on my current projects I'm working on, and artwork for NPCs and stuff for our another show that I'm on called The Clockwork Order. It's a D&D live show that we do every Saturday at 7 p.m. British Standard Time. It's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. It's been a good time, so go and check that out. That's my thing to plug. Lots of fun stuff.
All
I like that we
cool,
still
fun
have the
stuff.
battle drums in the outro.
I know. Dun, 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 dun.
It's been a tense session. I feel it suits.
Yeah.
Well, for now, that is goodbye from us. We will see you next Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. No, we will not. Surprise
No.
change. We are shifting the days that we play our games to Thursdays at 12:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thursday.
Thursdays from now on. For work schedules.
Yeah. We love working in service industry.
Yeet.
We don't, but we do it anyway.
It's a necessity.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.